We are?
We are live. Apparently we are live. Good morning, everybody. Is everybody muted?
Yeah, good morning.
I'm going to apologise if I sneeze a lot. Apparently I'm suffering from autumn hay fever.
You want us muted or unmuted? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm unmuted, I think.
Unmuted.
Yeah, I think most people by now have got used to Zoom etiquette. I think we're waiting for a few. So I have Fiona is doing my tech for me. Morning, Fiona.
Morning.
Sorry, I'm being copied. I know.
How many have we got?
We've got 9.
9.
Oh.
Okay. So we're doing a mini fun palace. We're this time last year we had nearly 900 people through this building doing various different. Everyone's an artist, everyone's a scientist stuff. Excuse me. And this year we thought, well, we need to do something. So we've got through today, we've got a number of live and pre-recorded sessions just to try and again keep us connected with our community, keep people busy. Don't know how many of you are still isolating or on lockdown, or I think possibly there's another lockdown coming, so we need to get again used to doing this. So I thought, well, Fiona said, can you do a Zentangle something for the Fun Palace? And I said, yes. And I know a few of you did a couple of sessions when we did the July festival. So you're already familiar with Zentangle. For those that aren't familiar with it, Zentangle was developed as a form of art therapy by a couple in the States years ago, and the idea is with their stuff that you spend about an hour just creating a small piece of art on a tile. So a tile is just a piece of paper, card, anything you've got you could draw on, cereal box, anything, and it's about 3 inches square, and you create a piece of art on it. So it's small, it's doable within about an hour, it's an achievable goal, and for the hour that you're doing it, because part of Zentangle is process, part of it is creativity, you use both sides of your brain, and it's a form of meditation. So in July, we all joined together and we created a small tile. If Fiona, would you mind just swapping to the other angle? It's frozen. This way. So, other way. In July, we all had a bit of a go at doing a tile. There's about 4 or 5 different tangles. Each tangle, it's a pattern. It's doodling. It's structured doodling. That's what Zentangling is. And it just takes your mind away from everything else for a moment, and your breathing goes down. Your heart rate goes down. Your breathing becomes regulated, and it has a meditative. Is that a word? Or have I just made that up? Quality to it. So, having spent 18 months doing this, I then thought I'm going to think outside the square, and I'm going to go bigger. So can we just swap back? Thank you. So this is an art journal. Some of you will know about art journaling. Art journaling is, again, it's another therapy in a way, that the idea is you spend an hour or so every day doing something in an art journal, doing something creative, doing something that takes your mind away from things. This is one of my art journals. I have decorated the outside with my name. But I thought, think outside the square and make things a bit bigger. And that's one of my tangling outside the square. You can use 2 or 3, or just, this is another example where I've used just 2 types of tangle actually. This one is called cups, and there's a reason it's called cups, because it looks like a whole set of cups stacked together. This one is called Dooley Doo, and my sister has a dog called Dooley, so that's why I had to learn Dooley Doo. This one is called Steps, but it's linked to one that I'm going to show, I'm going to start this morning. And just, it is about thinking bigger a bit. Thinking bigger than what we did in July. So, just need to get another book so I can. Going to start with, that's picking up the light. I'm going to start with one called Hammer Docks. The thing about Zentangle is it's a mathematical process. You start with something very simple, and then you add gradually till you build up to a piece of art. And the creativity of this comes in when you start putting things together and creating something which is not just one tangle, or you sort of go with the flow on it, really. And I thought this morning we would start with something which starts with a square. So I'm going to take you through this process now. So if you have your piece of paper, your cereal packet, your 3-inch square box, I'm going to start here, I think. I'm going to start with just a pencil box. The thing with Zentangling is that if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter. You just go with the flow. That's not the right pen. You can buy a lot of expensive equipment for doing this, or you can buy cheap stuff. These are just felt tip pens that come in. You can get these from Hobbycraft, or this one is 0.4 millimeters, and this is my sort of go-to pen. You can do this with pencil. You can do this with a biro. The first time I started Zentangling, I just had a biro. So you can do it with anything. I've just seen you can't see that pencil square that I've made, so I'm going to do it in pen. So this is Hammer Docks. You start with the square. And then you just gradually add lines. If you can write your own name, you can Zentangle, because it's just about lines. Doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. One of the joyful things about this is that it's not accurate. And the other thing that works with art journals is art journals tend to be movable. The 3-inch tile that you use, as recommended by the people that started Zentangle, the joy of having something this size is that it's very easily movable. But I've seen excuse me, on some of the web pages that Facebook groups that I'm part of, I've seen people Zentangling on a massive scale, like bigger than bigger than A3, and they must just lie on the floor and move around it. Let's go 5. Sometimes my mum used to do a lot of flower arranging, and she always used to say, work with odd numbers. If you're going to put roses in a vase, don't put 6 in, put 7 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because odd numbers apparently work better. I might go 7 on this one actually. So this is a central pattern. There's a number of different sort of types of Zentangle. You get central patterns, which this is. You get ribbons, which are, come back to the one I did in July. The ribbon is that one. Doesn't have to be circular. It can be any shape you like. A ribbon will fall in any shape. So I will probably use a ribbon on this one. And you have fillers, which are the ones that go sort of as a background. And you have organics, and I'm going to use an organic next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yes, okay. So then with hammer dots, when you've done the outside, you're going to start filling on the inside. So it's exactly the same. Inside. If you've got any questions, do shout. Fiona and I had a discussion not that long ago about watching videos of art journaling and art and crafty stuff, and we both agreed that if someone talks too much, you just want to go, shut up talking, just want to get on with it. So I don't think that quite looks finished, so I'm going to add some more on the outside. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I thought so. The mathematicians out there will go, oh, she's just added 3 to the 7 show on the outside, and that makes an even number. But it works for me. And that's the thing with any kind of art, actually. You just do what works for you. There's no right and wrong with any of this. So now I'm going, having got that there, I'm now going to fill in the gaps in the middle, just to try and give it a little bit of depth, I suppose. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just filling in the background. Right, I just made a mistake there because I went over. My colouring in was a bit wrong, so I just did kind of that and made a mistake. So if you do that, just make that one. Just colour over the line. I don't think that makes sense. Nobody's talking to me, Fiona. They all on mute.
Everybody's on mute.
Everybody's on
I
mute.
I think it's because we're concentrating, Emma.
Oh, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But you do. I think that's one of the things that I love about this. That you just it is your brain starts working. Your creativity kicks in. Your process kicks in, and lots of people will, when they do this, they've got music playing in the background. It is just you don't need to talk. So that's fine. I just wanted to check that we weren't all kind of, I wasn't ignoring any comments. So that one's called Hammerdocs. The next one I'm going to do is called Dooley Doo. Now there's a number of variations of this. I'm going to show you this side first. Again, this process, this therapy starts with a process. It starts with a line. This appears to have frozen. Are we all right? Are we live over there? Okay. So I shouldn't have got these laminated, and I'm trying to get it to the angle. So again, this is one you can make as long or as short as you like, and it starts with 1 or 2 lines, and you gradually build up. So I'm going to use this. I'm actually going to use it that way round and come down on my page. The variations on this, if you don't want to do straight lines, you can do variations, and you can make it curly as well if you want to. So on this one, the lines here, you make them curly. So you can do dooley do straight or wonky. Coming back to my glasses, there they are. So I'm going to pick a point, start here. And you start with a V. Oh, I've gone curved. Didn't know I was going to go curved. And then bring another line into there. So you bring one line into the middle bit and take another about halfway across there. That line into the join, another one into the middle. Don't worry about this bit for the moment, this random lone line at the bottom. We'll deal with that in a moment. So variations of this, you could make this straight. So you could do straight lines. Like that. Or you could do curly, wavy lines. Entirely up to you. So the process is just doing the lines. That's the sort of the technical operation side of it, but the creativity comes in when you just take a moment and look at it and go, do I need to finish there? Do I need a little bit more? And I think I need one more on that. Okay. So then you could leave it like that. It looks a little bit like a cactus of some sort. But I quite like the idea of sort of filling in. So use pens and pencils for Zentangling. And I'm going to use a 2B pencil. And just because I want a little bit of shade behind there, I'm going to use 2B and just try and give a bit of depth to this. So filled in the top one with the pen so that the background was a lot darker. With this one, I've just done it with a pencil, and it starts getting a little bit of 3D quality to it. When we did the stuff in July, we looked at shading, where you try and give your Zentangle a real pop when you do a little bit of shading, and make the whole thing look slightly 3D. I haven't gone there yet with this one. I might do, I might not. So I'm just going to rub out the lines on the original square, the hammer docks. I'm going to use a Zentangle called Poke Leaf. Now, it has a number of different shapes. I'm going to just turn over the page and show you. Oh, I'm being waved at. I've got a coffee, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to show you this. So there's a number of different shapes you can use for Poke Leaf. I bought, when I first heard about Zentangle, I went to Hobbycraft, other shops are available, and I bought this book. This tells you everything you need to know about the art therapy side, the meditative side, but this takes you through all the processes, and this is the one that I'm going to use now. There's a number of variations of Poke Leaf, but I think nature inspires art anyway, and this is one that, you know, it's a leaf shape. But I love it. But there are a number of variations. So the Poke Leaf there is 2 straight lines. And then you draw a leaf shape. That's the basic shape for Poke Leaf. There's other variations you could do. You could do that, which is a bit like a mushroom. Use your imagination. It's just a kind of leaf shape. Go out into your garden, have a look at what's growing in your garden, come back in and draw it. It's whatever you want to do. It's the beauty of this stuff. So where shall I start? I think I'm going to use Poke Leaf as a kind of ribbon and just come round here. took a moment and paused and looked at it just then. I thought, do I want to go off that way or do I want to come back this way? And I decided that I wanted to make this a complete, complete the circle. I suppose, well, it's not a circle, but complete, like I wanted to join this to this. But if you don't want to do that, don't like. If you want your ribbon, your shape to go off in a different direction, then do whatever is right for you. They look like little smiley faces. There's a Lucy's in the room. She says hers look like chili peppers. Yes, I see what you mean about chili peppers. Yes, they do look a bit like chili peppers, don't they? Yes. So this is obviously what I like doing, because there's another variation of it there, which is slightly wonky, but the world needs wonky. The world is wonky, very wonky at the moment. That's a different variation of it. Yeah, so Lucy, who's also in the room with us, has just talked about chili peppers making people's knees dance. My brother-in-law took part in a chili eating competition at a chili festival about 4 years ago. And the reaction was that it made his kneecaps jiggle. It's the most bizarre thing I've seen in my life. There is a reason why I don't think it was the Dorset Naga that made his knees jiggle. I love Dorset, but not the Naga. Right. So I'm going to fill in this bit, and I'm going to fill in with a grid pattern, or a grid tangle. Now, again, you can be as precise or imprecise as you like with this. But with grids, you usually start with a set of lines. So this is a very simple grid pattern that anybody could do. Using my pencil, I'm going to end up rubbing out the there are some people that say that don't use pencils ever with Tangle, and there are some people that do. I'm one that does. I think the idea about not using pencils ever is that you just run with any mistakes you make. So there's no rubbing out, no. But I'm that's not me, so I don't do that. Okay, so I might have to hold this up so you can see it a bit better. I've made a pencil grid inside my shape. I'm going to use a very, very, very simple, but quite effective grid. So on each intersection of pencil, I'm just going to place a kiss. I'm blowing everyone a kiss, and I'm going to do that on every single intersection. Could I have a time check, please?
11:37.
Lovely. What I can't do is fast forward this bit. Sorry, people. Back in the real world, I was out on tour. I'm an actor, by the way. That's what I do as a profession. I work a lot in schools. And I was on tour earlier this year with a workshop on an inspector calls. And I'd taken my Tangle stuff with me. And I was chatting with my work colleagues one evening about it. And I think it was this journal that I'd taken with me. And you can colour this stuff. I started this page with just splodging some watercolour on the page, and then tangled over the top of it. That one again was a free-flowing one. Oh, look, there's a type of poke leaf there, the mushroom one. And my work colleague said, "Can I take a photo?" I think it was. No, it was that one. He said, "Can I take a photo of that? I want to get a tattoo done." So somewhere in the world, my mate called Daryl has got a tattoo based on one of my tangles, which I think is brilliant. I'm going to use a smaller pen now. Actually, I'm not going to use. I was going to use all. So I'm now going to switch to. You don't need to do this. It's just I'm going to switch to a 0.2. That's not in focus. This is 0.2 millimeters. These pens you can buy. So a well-known craft supplier. I know I can say Hobbycraft. I just don't want to. I don't want to promote. But Hobbycraft sell these about a tenner for about 10 pens. So having put all my little crosses in, my little kisses, blowing more kisses. Now what I'm going to do is just draw a line, not quite joining, like that. I'm sure other craft shops are available. I just can't think of
The works.
the works. There you go. Go to the works.
I sell 3 different pens for £2, I think.
3 different pens. I need to go and get more PVA glue actually. One of the my Facebook statuses quite early on during lockdown was, what does a crafter do when they run out of PVA? Actually, I think I said Mod Podge, but so we know the horizontals, then you do the verticals, and any horizontals that you've missed. Most tangles have a name, and if you Google tangle patterns, Zentangle, there are millions of tutorials on YouTube. There's lots of web pages that will just show you, that will give you kind of like this kind of step-by-step instructions on how to do various things. Loads of stuff if you want to learn more patterns. There's just loads online. If you're anything like me, you'll want to make up your own as well. Because it just makes your brain creative, really. I think I've got them all in. So I shall just, with it, I'm going to wave it, make sure it's dry. I need a bake-off tray, don't I? I need to do the bake-off wave. How horrible to have been in bake-off and got out on the first week when you've been bubbling for all that time with people just that you can make the programme, and then you get kicked off in the first week. If I'm not going to say who got kicked off in the first week, just in case you've still got to do catch up. Oh look, missed some. So, shading. Let's do some of that. I'm not going to shade the grid pattern at all. I'm going to leave that completely flat. But I'm going to, with this one, I think I've sort of slightly predicted where the light is going. It's like with when you're shading, you can either just shade wherever that you like, or you can imagine that there's a light source coming somewhere. Now, I think with the dooley-doo that I've done down here, I've already decided that the light source is coming from up here somewhere. So I'm going to continue that. And again, 2B pencil. because for me, this is where these patterns start coming to life. Excuse me. And with shading, you can kind of start light and then build it up a bit. Smudgy stick, official name, Tortillon. I call it a smudgy stick. You can make these. You can make these from bits of rolled up paper. Again, Google Tortillon, and there are instructions on how to make your own smudgy stick. You can buy them, but suddenly you start smudging and it starts to pop. So on the hammer docks, there's a light coming from over there. Mm. 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes. Sorry, I completely lost myself.
Zoned out there.
Totally, yes. That's why I love this. Love doing these things, because I just totally zoned out with the shading then. You also have to sign it. Does anyone have any questions? No. Clearly. Hmm?
The image on the advert for this session had the word Zentangle with drawings and words around it. Is that a form of Zentangle or a different technique?
Say that again.
The image on the advert for this session had the word Zentangle with drawings and words around it.
Presumably-
Here. Hold on. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah.
Let me look at me.
I don't know.
Apologies, I'm having this. The image on the advert for this session had the word Zentangle around it. Is that a form of Zentangle or a different technique?
Was that the picture? That was the one that was your.
Mine,
It was yours, wasn't
yes.
it?
No, the word Zentangle, I think so they knew what the actual session was. Zentangle, I don't even know what the name of that one was. It's the one that's sort of a drop. So have a look in your lovely book. Hide it.
A drop. Because it was a picture. The picture that advertised this was actually what it was a tile that you did during the July festival, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was before that.
It was a long time.
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm not gonna sneeze. So in my head, in the middle of Hammerdocks, this bit here, in my head, has to be darker because it's right in the middle. That's why I've shaded most of those ones in the middle. And if for me, I'd probably go a bit darker on this as well. And the beauty with shading is that if you've done it and you don't like it, you can rub it out.
This is the image.
Oh, I don't know what that one's called. Did you make that one up?
I didn't even make that one up. I've seen it somewhere.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that one's called. It'll be somewhere.
Well,
Yeah, so for me, looking at this as a whole, I think this is the darkest area on mine. So as you're adding shading, just every now and then, just sit and look at it and go, yeah, I'm going to add a bit there. Because that is. So this is kind of taking it the next step. So this was at Southern Maltings. We made a tile, and I still love doing tiles because they are confined. And you can you can sort of come back to them later. I mean, I'm coming back to this one now thinking, actually, do you know what? I need a lot more shading there. They're little achievable works of art, but if you want to do something, if you want to go further, then get yourself an art journal. I journal a lot. I also junk journal, which means I make journals out of rubbish. Cereal packets, newspapers, Radio Times, envelopes. And I tangle in those as well. You have to sign anything you do. You sign it and date it. So, well, one, because you're an artist, and you are, even if you don't think you are. And date it so that you know when you did it, I suppose. It's a good question, Mark. Thank you. You know, I've signed mine because in 150 years' time, when I'm an incredibly famous artist, these will be worth something. No? I think I'm going to go darker under there as well. Keep playing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if we've got any gentlemen at all. I haven't looked. I know I've got one gentleman. Well, I've got Mark over there. Don't know if he's a gentleman. No, he is a gentleman. He probably wouldn't describe himself as such, but he is. And we are all socially distanced. We're all about 15 feet away from each other. Yeah, so I went a bit darker. And, oh, that's better. That's better. Yeah, so keep playing. I've got probably about 2 minutes left now. It would be lovely if you guys can. Do we need images? Send images in.
Would be lovely if people could. That would be
Photograph.
Great. Yeah, send us a photograph.
Send us a photo of what you've created. Where's the Fun Palace Facebook page? Lovely. Don't know how long we're going to be still online. I don't know that Southern Maltings is going to be having 800 people through next October for our Fun Palace, but we're doing what we can just to keep everything going. Oh yeah, and if you'd like to make a donation to this fabulous building, some of you will know it, some of you won't. We're wanting, and we had started creating the best arts hub in Hertfordshire, in the southeast, in the country. Let's think big. So yeah, these things we're doing for free, but if you have got a spare fiver, tenner, 500 quid that you wanted, or a million, yeah, that'd be useful, just to keep everything going, that would be marvellous. Again, details for that can be found on the Southern Maltings website, which is, can we flip back and just do the website?
You won't see it.
You won't see it. It's southernmaltings.co.uk. That would be marvellous. I think I probably have to. My friend, my best mate, called Heidi, bought me this journal, and I introduced her to Zentangling in October at our Fun Palace last year, and for my birthday, she made me this book. Well, she didn't make the book. She made the cover for me. So I'm just sharing that as well. I think I probably have to wind up. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
And thank you to Emma as well for
Thank you very much. Very enjoyable.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.